So today I thought we'd talk a little bit about education. So tell me, what are your thoughts on Colombian education at the moment?
I think it's not good.
Okay.
Because the Colombian education today is just to teach knowledge, but not to teach how to live life.
Do you think that's a global problem with education, or it's just pertinent to Colombia?
Not exclusively from Colombia, that's all the world. But I know the Colombian education, I know Colombian situation.
How does the education of Colombia affect the mentality and the personality of the people? And does the education play a role in stopping the country from developing?
Because we are not learning what we need.
Okay.
We are learning all cultures, not from Colombia.
Can you give me an example?
An example, we know who is the queen in England, who is the king in Spain, who is the president of the United States, but we don't know nothing about our people, our governments.
Do you not have history lessons on the history of Colombia?
Yeah, our history doesn't exist.
Where does the history start?
The history starts with the Spanish colonizers.
The conquistadors.
The conquistadors from Spain. This is the beginning of our history. That is not real, that is not good. Our history is from centuries and centuries before the conquistadors.
Where should you learn the history from?
About 12,000 years from today. We don't have the information. You must study anthropologist or history to know that. So the people in the school doesn't know that.
In what you're saying is that for Colombia to have a better educational system, you need to find out more about your history. You need to ask the anthropologists to teach the people of Colombia their history.
Yeah, because we know about the last 5 centuries history, but I'm sure we must know all our history, who we are, what is our culture, what's our past, and what's our future.
Do you think that Colombians are lost because they don't know their history?
Yes, of course.
And how does that affect them psychologically?
That affects us with no identity. We don't have a real own identity. We don't know if we love the queen, the king, the president, or Mickey Mouse.
And how does that affect behavior? Because Colombia has a reputation for behaving badly on the international world scene with narcotics. How does the history of Colombia affect behavior? What behavior are they doing because they lack history?
The indigenous people, we think we are white people.
Are you white?
I don't know.
You don't. But
it doesn't matter for me. Yes, they think I'm white.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And if I'm white, I think the indigenous, I'm superior than indigenous people, because my education says that.
Let me get this straight. Indigenous people think that you are white.
Yeah.
Do you agree that you are white?
No, I have not this identity. It doesn't matter to me.
So the white people when indigenous people say that you're white, I'm white, I'm from England.
Yeah. Blue eyes,
yeah.
white skin.
What ancestry do you have in your blood? Are you a mix of Indian and white?
I think we are mixed.
But if you're mixed of Indian or white, they call you white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And people like me, white or mixed. We think we are superior than indigenous or black people. That's an education problem. Because my education says that.
So white people believe, okay, are you talking about white people in the world or are you talking about white people in Colombia?
In the world and in Colombia, in Australia, in Africa, in Asia, in America.
How did white people get this white complex that they're better than other races? Where did it come from?
Because white people think they are the owners of the world and the other people is like slaves.
Do all white people think that, or is it a white mentality, or is it the white people of the past? Because if you're going to say that white people think that they own the world and that other people are slaves, you're generalizing. Would you like to be a bit more specific?
I'm generalizing, of course. Okay. Of course, I'm generalizing. Not all the people, but it's a mentality.
It's a mentality, okay.
Yeah, that's a mentality that to think white people is superior in all the world, in all the countries. The education told us that's the truth. That's the truth. Indigenous, black, Asian people are inferior. Inferior?
Inferior, that's correct.
Than us.
How does the education teach white people are better?
Because they taught us that's the truth. That's the best. White European culture is the best. All the rest of the world must serve to Europe, and European people is white.
What bits in the text? You're saying that this is from textbooks. What could you give me an example of something in a textbook or a particular point which is indicating that white people from Europe are better?
For example, church. You must believe in Jesus. You must believe in Jesus. Jesus is the only one. If you believe in the moon, the sun, they can kill you. You must believe. The conquistadors destroyed the temples and built another temples. But not just the physical temples, the culture.
This is something that I get upset about, because when you talk about, or when people talk about the church destroying cultures, they think that the church is a white thing. The church is actually a Jewish thing. I mean, Jesus was Jewish and his disciples and apostles were Jewish.
But Rome is in Europe.
Well, but the problem is that the church came to England and Europe and killed all of the Druids and and basically destroyed all the churches, or our pagan churches, and built their churches on top of it. So in a strange sense, England and Europe have suffered in the same way as Colombia. So when you're talking about a mentality, for instance, being a Western mentality, and you're using the church as an example, the church doesn't come from Europe. The church comes from Israel. It comes from Palestine.
Yeah, from Middle East. But Europe adopted Catholicism. And the Pope lives in Rome, in Europe.
But then the mentality isn't European. The mentality is Palestinian or Jewish, or from that area, Mesopotamia area. So we're actually if you're going to talk about the church invading Latin America, it's not a Western invasion, it's coming from a Palestinian invasion.
It comes from Palestine, but it changed. It was adopted and changed.
Okay.
Yeah? Europe changed the Jesus.
Could we say that Europe adopted the church and used it for its benefit to carry out an agenda? So what we're actually saying is that the church is maybe, in this case, hypothetically innocent, but the Europeans were looking for a reason to attack Latin America. And if they could attack Latin America because they wanted to bring God to Latin America, that was seen as valiant or a good thing. When they got here, when the conquistadors got here, what did they do to the people?
You must believe in Jesus and Mary. If you don't believe in Jesus and Mary, I can kill you. Because I have the reason, Jesus is the only one. Do you accept Jesus? No, okay, I can kill you.
Is this the same mentality that the FARC and the paramilitary have, by any chance? Because it just
yes,
sounds,
of course, of course.
Do you think that the FARC and the paramilitary were influenced by the conquistadors?
Of course, of course. This is a cultural problem.
So
Not just to say what do you have to think, to believe, to feel. It's an attitude. And messianism,
what is
in
it?
Spanish, is messianismo.
Messiah, the Messiah,
Like the
Messianic, Messianic.
Messianic. Okay, the guerrillas and the paramilitaries, they are
Messiah.
Messianic.
So
Yeah.
they think that they are the new church. They have the new Jesus, and
Yeah.
they're delivering Colombians from their problems.
And the new Bible is the capital from Karl Marx. It's the new Bible. You must do that to build the new world.
Okay, this is very interesting. We're going to carry this on in our next video. Thank you very much. If you like the video, then you can subscribe to the channel. You can also look in the information below in the little box, and there'll be details about my friend's book and where you can get it from, and also other information related to him. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.